Hello and welcome all dear students to this new video tutorial in which we will learn HTML5 in 1 hour. So let's start with today's contents. Today we will study what is HTML, what is the structure of HTML document, what is Sublime Text 3. In this video tutorial we will write HTML programs using a software Sublime Text 3. Then we will learn what are different types of HTML tags. What are basic HTML tags and their attributes? How to draw a table in HTML? How to design a HTML form for a website? And then we will learn how to insert audio and video tags in HTML. Okay? So let's start with what is HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Now you all should know that it is not a programming language. It is a markup language. Markup language consists of elements called as tags. Its commands are written within angular brackets, mean within less than and greater than sign. So this is markup language. It is not a programming language because programming language such as C, C++, Python, they consist of looping statement, decision control statements, and classes, objects, and lot of things. So it is not a programming language. Keep this in mind. Its main purpose is to design web pages that are static in nature. What is static web pages? Static web pages are those web pages whose contents do not change frequently. For example, all the registration forms are static in nature. If you open, you will get the same form. If anyone open, any other person open, he will get the same form. So dynamic means the contents of the page are changes according to the user. But in this static web pages, the design remains same and it does not vary from user to user. The HTML files are saved with .html extension or .htm extension. Now, this HTML was developed by T. Berners-Lee and it was published by a company called WhatWG. Its first version was released in 1993 and since then it became popular day by day. And it is one of the main languages to design web pages. Its latest version is HTML 5.2. HTML docu consists of a commands called tags or elements and they are written within angular brackets. Now let's see to the structure of HTML document. The first tag we write in HTML document is HTML tag. Now see, the command name is HTML and we have written it within less than and greater than sign. This is angular brackets. So this is known as tag. This is known as tag. So it is the opening HTML tag. All the HTML programs begin with this HTML tag. Then after HTML tag comes the head tag. It is the opening head tag. Now see why we are writing opening HTML tag and opening head tag, because each opening tag has a matching closing tag also. So most of the tags you will find in HTML have opening tag as well as closing tags. But there are some tags that only have opening tags and not closing tags. We will discuss them later on. So head tag, opening tag. So when we write the tag name within angular brackets, it is known as opening tag. Now after opening tag comes the title tag. Now whatever we write within title tag, it displayed on the title bar of the web page. I will show you what is the title bar. When we discuss our first program, we will show you what is the title bar of web page. So whatever you write within title page. Now see, here this is known as closing tag because the title tag begins with a forward slash sign. So when you write a forward slash sign before tag name, it is a closing tag. And when you do not write forward slash sign before the tag name, it is an opening tag. So within opening title and closing title tag, you have to write the title of the document. So your program starts with HTML tag, opening tag, then head tag, title tag. Within title tag, you have to give the title of the document, and then there is head tag, closing head tag. So within the title tag is written within the opening and closing head tag. Then comes the body tag. Whatever you write within the body tag is displayed on a web page. Different tags are written here, and this is the closing body tag. So whatever you want to display in your web page, you will write between the opening and closing body tag. So how can you identify it is opening tag? When you write the tag name within angle brackets without forward slash sign, it is opening tag. And you when you write the tag name within angular brackets starting with forward slash sign, it is closing tag. And then HTML closing tag comes. So this is the basic structure of HTML document. So let's go on this again. See, it starts with HTML opening tag, then comes the head tag, opening head tag, then comes the opening title tag, then after the opening title tag you give the title of the document, then you close the title tag and you close the head tag, then you start the body tag. Whatever you want to display in the web page, you write within the body tag, and then you close the body tag, and then you close the HTML tag. So now, before writing a HTML program, let's discuss what is Sublime Text 3. See, HTML program can be written using any text editor. So by default, there is a text editor in Windows known as Notepad. But Notepad is very simple text editor. It does not display auto correct option, auto highlight options, and syntax highlighting options by default. There are no line numbers. So it is bit difficult to identify the errors in Notepad. So there comes a software known as Sublime Text 3. Now what is Sublime Text 3? It is a text editor that can be used for writing source code of various programming languages. Now see, first of all, it is a text editor and it can be used for writing source code of various languages such as HTML, JavaScript, PHP, Python, CSS, and lots of languages are there. So it is text. It is basically a text editor. Remember, it is not an IDE, integrated development environment, because integrated development environment do lot of functions on the back side of the front end also. So it is a text editor that can be used for programming HTML, JavaScript, Python, PHP. So in this tutorial, we will be using Sublime Text 3. Its latest version is 3.0. You can download, it is an open source, you can download from the internet free of cost. It is a shareware. It has many built-in features such as syntax highlight, auto indentation, file type recognition, sidebar, macros, plugins, packages that make it easy to work with variety of programming and markup languages. So I will recommend to use Sublime Text 3 for writing HTML program instead of simple Notepad text editor. Now let's start with the first HTML program. The first HTML program, we start with the HTML opening tag. Then I have written the opening head tag. Now you can identify why it is called as opening, because there is no forward slash sign at the beginning of the tag. Now within head tag I am writing title, and in the title I have written first HTML page. Then I am closing the title. See why it is called as closing tag, because it is starting with forward slash sign. So this is the closing tag. So within title tag I have given the title of the document first HTML page. Remember, this title will be displayed on the title bar of the web page, not within the body of the web page. Then I have closed the heading tag. Then within body tag I have written this is my first HTML page, and then I have closed the body, and then I have closed the HTML. Now when you run this program, you will get this type of output. See, now as you can see, this is the title bar of the page. This is the called as the title bar of the web page. This is the title of the tab that is opened in web browser my web browser, default web browser is Google Chrome. So first HTML page is displaying here. This is the title of the web page, and whatever I have written within the body of the web page is displayed in the here in the white portion. So this is known as the body. Okay, so this is known as the body of HTML page. So this white portion that you see on a web page is known as the body of the web page. Okay, clear? Now let's run this program. So I have opened Sublime Text 3 and here I have written already the coding part. Now as you can see, this is the now see here I have written opening HTML tag, then head tag, then title tag, then body tag. Okay, sorry, I have to use HTML. So my first program is this. So I have written my first HTML page. Then within the body I have written this is my first HTML page, and I have closed the body tag and then I have closed the HTML tag. So here you can find this. So in Sublime Text 3, you simply have to go to File menu, click on New File, and start writing your HTML program. Now, when you are done with the program, you can simply click on File and you can save it as .html. You give the name as a.html and your file will be saved. Okay. Now, to run this program from within Sublime Text 3, suppose I have closed this program. Now, if you want to run this program, simply right click on the empty space inside Sublime Text 3 and select the option Open in Browser. Open in Browser, it will open the page and here you can find the page. Now, this is I have default one HTML. Now, I will run first s.html. Now, right click on the empty space and select Open in Web Browser. When you click on it, see the page will be opened and this page is displayed. This is my first web page and see the title bar, first HTML page. This is the title of the web page you have given within the title tag. Is that clear? Okay. Now let's move on to our next. Now what are different types of HTML tags? As you can see, we open HTML tag, then we close HTML tag. We open head tag, then we close head tag. We open title tag, we close title tag. So there are two types of tags in HTML. First is container tags, which consist of both opening and closing tags. For example, HTML head, title, body, and font are called HTML tags. And second is empty tags, which consist of only opening tag but there is no closing tag. For example, we will learn in the coming slides the BR tag and HR tag are such tags that consist of only opening tag but there is no closing tag. Is that clear? So there can be two types of HTML tags, container tags that consist of both opening and closing tags. For example, HTML head, title, body and font. And then there are empty tags which consist of only opening tag but there is no closing tag. Now what are the attributes of a tag? Attributes are the properties that increases the functionality of the tags. Each tag, for example, there is body tag, there is BR tag, HR tag. These tags have some properties. If used, then these attributes increases the functionality of those tags. These properties are called as attributes. For example, in the previous program, we have used the body tag, but we haven't used any attribute of body tag. So when we run this code, we get the output, but the background of the page is white. See, the background of the page is white. But if you want to change the background of the page to yellow, to blue, to green, to red, you can use the attribute of body tag. For example, body tag has an attribute called BG color that can be used to set the background color of the web page. Okay, so let's start with the body tag. Now body tag, it contains the contents to be displayed in HTML page. Whatever you want to display in HTML page in your web page, you will write it within the body tag. Its attributes are BG color. It sets the background color of the page. See, I will also explain the example here. See, inside body tag, I have used BG color equal to yellow and text equal to blue. See, the second attribute is text. It sets the text color. It means the color of the text that is displayed within the body of the document. Then there is background. It can be used to insert image at the background of the page. For example, see, here I have written, you concentrate on this line. Here I have written body, then I have written space, then BG color equal to yellow. Now BG color is the attribute name and yellow is the attribute is the value of this attribute. Always write the attribute value within single or double quotes. See, I have written yellow within single quotes. It means this is the value, and BG color that is displayed with green. So by default, what Sublime Text 3 does, it gives the red color to the tag name, and whatever attribute you use, it gives it green color. So here BG color and text are the attributes, and whatever value you are given is given in yellow. So this yellow and blue are the values of the attributes. Now I have written the programming languages can be divided into two categories, low level and high level. Now let's run this code. How will you run this code? Simply right click on the empty space and select open in browser. See, you will get this output. Now as you can see, the text color is blue because I have written text equal to blue. And you can see the background color is yellow because you have given BG color equal to yellow. So attributes are increasing the functionality of the body tag. Using this attribute, I can change the color of the text as well as I can change the background color of the document. So these are the called attributes. But have you noticed one thing? In the editor window, I have written low level and high level on a different lines. See, after into two categories, I have given the I have pressed the enter key, and then I have written number one low level, then again I have pressed the enter key, and then I have written high level. But by default, the HTML does not treat your enter key as a new line. See, it is giving in the same line only, and when it reaches the end of the document, then the next word is shifted automatically onto the next line. So so whatever you type in code editor is not displayed as it is displayed on a single line. So what can we do? What can we which tag we can use to type the text as it is, to display the text as it is? We will learn afterwards. Okay. So here my focus is that we are using two attributes of this body tag. One is BG color, one is tag. So wherever I open Sublime Text 3 window, you will get the name of the tag in red, you will get the attributes name in green, and you will get the values in yellow. So you can recognize which is tag, which is the attribute, and which is the value. Here body is the tag, BG color and text are the attributes, and yellow and blue are its values. Okay. Now as we have already one attribute is more background. It inserts an image at the background of the page. So let's practice this tag. What we will do, we will write another code, and here I have given body background equal to c.subscribe png. It means in the background attribute I am giving the full path of the image file along with its extension where this image file is located on my system. So it is located on C colon subscribe in C drive with name subscribe.png. The extension of my image file is png. So all the browsers support various image files such as .png, .bmp, .jpg, .tiff, .gif. So here I am using png file. Now if your image is small, if the size of your image is small, then it will display in the tiled, the picture will be displayed in the background in the form of tiles. It means several pictures will be displayed, and above those pictures your text will be displayed. Okay, so let's run this program and you can see the output. See, here there are so many pictures are coming because the size of my image is very small. So different pictures are coming to fill the space. See, and above those pictures the text is coming. The programming language can be divided into two categories, that is low level and high level. And keep this in mind, either you can use BG color or you can use background. Both texts cannot be used simultaneously. If you use both the text simultaneously, then background attribute will override the BG color tag. So there will be no effect of BG color tag. Only the background image will be displayed. And if I select some large image, then that your background image will be filled with that image only. Clear? So you cannot change the width and height of this background image. Your image will be displayed in original size only. So you can uh, take any wallpaper picture and you can set in the background. Okay, so what you have done, you have written body, then you have written background equal to, remember to give the full path of your picture. And if you are not giving the full path, suppose you are writing this, then by default your HTML editor will think that your this picture is in the current folder, and it will search this picture in the current folder. And if it does not found the picture, see, let's see what happened. See, the picture is not displayed because it is searching subscribe.png in the current folder, and it is not getting that picture in the current folder because that picture is in C drive. So remember to give full path, or you can copy paste the picture in your current folder and then set the background. Now we will learn about the basic HTML tags and their attributes. Let's start with the pre-tag. Now you have seen in the previous, in this output, when I have changed the background to yellow and the text color to blue, I have written low level and high level on the next line. But when I displayed this text, it is coming on the same line. Now you want to display the text as it is typed in the text editor, Sublime Text 3. So what you will do, you will use the pre-tag. It is known as pre-formatted tag. So it displays the pre-formatted text. It means it preserves spaces and line breaks. It means whatever spaces and line breaks you give, it takes those spaces, it preserves those spaces and line breaks and show the result as it is, that you have typed. Now the text is displayed in the fixed pitch font. This is one of the type of the font, fixed pitch. So that the text is displayed in this font type. Now let's see the output. Now what have I done, I have open the pre.html and see I have given HTML head title, I have given body tag. Here I can write pre-tag. Now in the title tag, high tag, then in the body I have written BG color yellow and text equal to blue, and then I have written the programming languages can be divided into, then I have press entered, then low level, then enter and high level, and then I have closed the pre-tag, then body, then HTML. Now save this code and now run it. Open web browser. Now you can see it is displayed. Now see, the title of the title this document says pre-tag because I have written pre-tag within the title tag. Okay, and then I have written the programming languages can be divided into two categories. Then see, high low level is displayed on another line and high level is displayed on a new line. So this is the effect of pre-tag. This is known as pre-formatted text. Suppose if I write the programming languages can be and press enter divided into categories, then I press again enter, and then after the low level I am pressing enter. Now save it, and now save this file, and you can again only refresh. Now see, it is displaying as it is. After categories it is displaying new line, and then after low level it is again displaying new line. Now if I put a tab key after the programming languages, then after two categories, now again I am saving it and I am refreshing it. You will see that the tab key is applied in both the lines after programming and after two. So this is how this pre-formatted text can be useful while coding HTML programs. Now the next tags are heading tags. Now suppose we want to give some headings to our HTML documents. How can we do it? There are used to insert different levels of headings in HTML. So there are 6 levels of heading from H1 to H6. The H1 heading is the largest and the boldest heading, and then this bolder and then the headings become less bolder and less larger. These are container tags because you will find opening as well as closing tags of these headings tags H1 to H6. Now you can see the example. See, now I am opening headings.html file. See, again see, the first line is HTML, then head, then title, then I have given the title headings in HTML, then I am using body tag. Now in body tag I am using, this is heading 1, this is heading 2, this is heading 3, this is heading 4, this is heading 5, and this is heading 6. I have used 6 levels of heading from H1 to H6. As you can see, there are opening tags also and closing tags also. It means these are container tags. Now when you run this code, you will see the output is displayed like this. Now as you can see, the H1 heading is the largest and the boldest. Then comes heading 2, then comes heading 3, then comes heading 4, then heading 5, and the heading 6 is the smallest and the least boldest. Fine. So in this way you can give headings to your documents. One more thing I can add in this, there is one attribute known as align. You can use align attribute, for example like this, align equal to, and give is left, right, center, and see the spelling of center, C-E-N-T-E-R, okay, not C-E-N-T-R-E. Now save this program and refresh your web page. See, your heading is displayed at the center of the web page. So there are three values of aligned attribute: left, center, and right. If I write here RIGST and again I am saving it and I am refreshing the page, you can see the heading is shifted to the right. So you can align your headings according to the need of your document. Now then comes the paragraph tag. Suppose you want to type a paragraph. So before and after paragraph lines are left so that it can be easily understood that from where the paragraph begins and from where it ends. Okay, so paragraph tag can be inserted using opening p tag and closing p tag. Again, this is a container tag. Now it inserts a paragraph in HTML. It is a container tag. For example, this is my document. Now I am giving the heading to this document H1. Now see, H1 align equal to center and the heading is programming languages. Now this heading will be displayed at the center of the page. Then I am writing a paragraph. Now see, I am writing this text within the opening and closing paragraph tags. Now this will be displayed as paragraph. But again, this new line will not be treated as it is. You will get low level and high level on the same line. Now run this code. See, this is the code. See, I have given H1 align equal to center. Your heading is displayed at the center of the page, and then I am displaying programming languages can be divided. See, before the paragraph, appropriate space has been left before and after the paragraph. Now see, I am writing some text after the closing of p tag. This is the end. This is the end of the HTML page. Now save it and refresh your page. See, now proper line space has been inserted before and after paragraph. So this is done automatically by the p tag. Okay, now if you remove the p tag, then you can see the effect of this document. See, and this is the end of HTML page was displayed on a separate line. Now see, you can see the effect. The end of HTML page, see, this is the end of HTML page is starting from the same line. So the effect of paragraph tag you can see whenever you write some text within opening and closing paragraph tag, proper line space is inserted. Now notice one thing, I have opened p tag and when I am closing and I have typed less than and less than sign, see the p tag is automatically closed. This is done, this is because of Sublime Text Editor. This is auto filled option, auto correct option, which you will not find in simple notepad editor. There is one other software, Notepad++, which is the which is somewhat like a Sublime Text only, but Sublime Text is more features rich as compared to Notepad++. Okay, so are you getting my point? When you write some text within paragraph, proper line space is inserted before and after the paragraph. So this tag is very useful. Again, you can use align tag, align attribute within the paragraph tag, align equal to center. Now see, I am writing two tags, in which I have written align equal to center and then I have written align equal to right. By default, it is align equal to left. Now save it, you will see the output like this. See, this is left align, this is right align. When you maximize it, you can see the output more clearly. See, this paragraph is center align, this is right align, and this is after the paragraph tag has been closed. Clear? Now there are line break tags. Suppose you want to break the line at appropriate places in your document. It means you want to break the lines. It means you want to give the effects as you have pressed enter key after the line. You can use BR tag. It is used to break the line and move the cursor to the next line. Keep this in mind. Wherever you insert this BR tag, it breaks the line and it moves the cursor to the next line. It has no attributes. Okay, this is an empty tag. Now let's practice this tag, BR tag. Now see, I have written here within paragraph. I have written, see, previously I have written paragraph tag like this. I am deleting these lines again. Now see, I have written programming language align equal to left only. I am making a left and then I am simply saving it and then I am opening in browser. See, you are getting output like this. Programming languages can be divided into low level, high level. In low level, I am giving 1, and in high level, I am giving numbering 2. Okay, now I am saving it and I am refreshing the web page. See, you here you are getting 1 and 2, but this low level and high level are being displayed on the same line. Now I want to display this 2 points on different lines. So what I will do, I will use the BR tag. See, programming languages can be divided into two categories. Then I have used BR tag. So from here onwards the line will be break and the cursor will move on to the next line. Then it will display low level, again the line will be break, and then on the next line it will display high level. Now run this, you will get the output. Programming languages can be divided into two categories. See, on the first line it is low level, on the second line it is giving high level. So in this way you can break the lines in HTML. Okay, fine. Now, horizontal ruler tag. You can insert horizontal line in your web page using a tag called HR, horizontal ruler tag. So, it is used to insert an horizontal line in HTML page. Now, what are its attributes? Number one, size. It sets the thickness of the line, how thick the horizontal line will be. Then there is width of the line. Then no shade attribute. So by default, when you insert a line, it is in 2D shape. So you can change its shape from 2D to 3D using no shade attribute. And next is color. You can set the color of the ruler. For example, see, this is HR tag. What I have done here, I have written h1 align equal to center programming languages, and after heading I am inserting an horizontal line. See what I have given, HR size equal to 6, width equal to 100%, color equal to blue, no shade. Now width you can give in two ways. You can give the width in pixel form, write px here, or write nothing, or you can give it in percentage form. Now see, the horizontal ruler will be inserted after this heading. It will be of size say 6, means thickness will be 6, its width will be 800 pixels, color will be blue, and it will be in 3D shape. Now save this text and right click open in browser. See, after programming language, one horizontal line has been displayed. Now see, only this much has been displayed because I have given the width 800 pixel. Now give 100%. Now save it and again run this code. See, you are getting the horizontal line across the full page. Now font tag. Font tag sets the size of the font, color of the font, and face of the font. Face of the font means which type of font you want to display. For example, Arial, Arial Black, Courier, Comic Sans MS, you can set. But in HTML5 now it is not supported. But when you use WYSIWYG editor, WYSIWYG, the full form of WYSIWYG is what you see is what you get. So the example of WYSIWYG editor is Sublime Text 3, Notepad 3. So in HTML5 now this font tag has been deprecated, means it is not further supported. Now instead of this we use CSS, cascading style sheets. So, but if you are using Sublime Text 3, you can use this font. It can be easily used using this editor. Now its attributes are color, font size, font family. In HTML5, font tag attributes are implemented using style elements. So we will implement these attributes using style elements: color, font size, and font family. Font family means the face of the font, such as Arial, Comic Sans, and Courier. See the example. See, see the see the text that I have written within the body. I have written font, then I have written style equal to, and then within double quotes, I have written color colon red, font size colon 25, font family colon Comic Sans MS. Now keep this in mind, whenever you write within style attribute, you write the attribute name followed by colon and then you write the value. And between two attributes, you put semicolon. Now font size is another attribute and its value is 25, and font family is another attribute, its value is Comic Sans MS. Then you are closing the style tag, style attribute. Okay. Now see, I am opening it in browser. See, you will get the output like this. This is some text. Now this is color is red, its size is 25 and its type is Comic Sans MS. Now you can change the font family and you can write it in this way. Arial. Now save it. Now refresh the page. See, now the text is been displayed in Arial font. Clear? Now you can make your text bold, italics and underline using B tag, I tag and U tag respectively. Now B tag is used to make text bolder, I tag is used to italicize the text and U tag is used to underline the text. See, you can see the example here. See, within the body I have written B tag, then I tag, then U tag. Now I am here using the nesting of tags. The innermost tag is U tag. So first of all U tag will be closed. Then the innermost tag is I tag. Then I tag will be closed. And the outer tag is bold. Then at the last the bold tag is closed. Now this text is bold, italics and underline. Now run this in browser. You will get this text is bold, italics and underline. See, the text has been displayed in like in bolds, then in italics and it is underlined. Now image tag. Now in your document you want to insert a image along with your text. Now don't confuse it with the background image of the body tag. The background image is displayed at the background of the page and above that the text is displayed. Now you want to display some image along with your text in between the text. So you will use image tag. It inserts an inline image. So why it is called as inline image? Because you are inserting an image between the text, between the lines of your document. Its attributes are src. So first of all you have to give the source or path of an image to be inserted, like similar in the way that we are given in the background attribute. Then you can set the height of image in pixels or percent. Then you can set the width of an image in pixels or percent, and you can set the thickness of border around the image also. Moreover, you can also align the image to top, bottom, middle, left and right. So these 5 attributes you can use with img tag: source, height, width, border and align. So let's see the example. I am closing this img tag. Now see the body. I have written it kindly like, share and subscribe, and then I am inserting the image src equal to c colon subscribe dot png. Then I have written let me remove this, there is no need of this. Then I have written width equal to 20%, height equal to 20%, border equal to 2 and then 2 pixels and then align equal to left. Now save this code and open it in browser. See, here you are getting the image along with the text kindly like, share and subscribe. So here I am giving the full path of my image file to src attribute. So here I am using src attribute, width attribute, height attribute, border attribute and align attribute. Now if I use align equal to right, then save this file and again refresh the page. See, the image will be aligned to the right. Now there is no center. Okay, if you want to align the image as the center of the page, there is one tag center. Use this center and use this image tag within the opening and closing center tag. See what I have done? I have used the image tag, img tag within the opening center tag and closing center tag. Now save it again. Now remove align equal to right from this here. Now remove the align attribute and refresh the page. See, the image will be displayed at the center of the page. Now then comes the order list. Suppose you want to display the list of items in your web page in numbered form. For example, the numbering can be numerical form 1, 2, 3, or in alphabetical form ABC, or in Roman number I, then double I, then triple I, then I and V. Okay, so this is known as order list, and the tag uses OL and it is used along with the LI. So it inserts an order list of items in HTML page. It is used along with LI. LI stands for list item. The attributes are start. It specifies the number to start on. Suppose you want to start the numbering from 5. So you can write start equal to 5. So it will start numbering from 5 onwards. Then you are using type attribute. Now in type attribute you can specify whether you want number list, you want alphabetical list, you want list of Roman numbers. Example. Now see the body tag. Within body tag I have written OL. Now see here I am using the nesting of OL tags so that you can learn how to make use of nesting of tags. Now in the outer I have written OL type equal to 1. It means it will be start with the number list, and start equal to 1 means it will start from 1. Then I have used LIs. Remember, for each item you have to use LI. I have written low level languages, and within low level languages there are two more languages, machine language and assembly language. So again I have written OL. See, I have writing OL within here. I am using OL tag within another OL tag. This is known as nesting of tags. Here I have written OL type equal to A, small a. Now this machine language and assembly language will come in, will be numbered as small a and small b. Then I have closed the inner OL tag. See, the you have to do the proper alignment also. You can to make it more readable. Then I am using again LI tag. It means it is LI of outer OL, high level language. Then OL type equal to I and interpreter. Now let's run this. Now see, this is the output. See, I have written OL type equal to 1 low level language. So it is giving 1 low level language. Then within OL I have written another OL and I have written type equal to A. Machine language, assembly language. See, machine language has been numbered as small a and small p. Then I have written LI high level language. See, number 2 is high level language, because at the in the outer OL I have written type equal to 1. That's why it is numbered as 2. Now within high level language I have written type equal to I. It means it will display Roman numbers. See, compiler base and interpreters have been numbered using Roman numbers, small Roman numbers. So in this way you can display the list of items using OL tag. Now same can be done using UL tag also. This is known as unordered list. In display you in this unordered list you can display the list of items using three symbols. What are those three symbols? It has only one attribute, that is type, and the symbols that you can specify in type attributes is disk, square and a circle. Disk will be a filled circle, filled black circle, then square is an empty square bracket and circle is an empty circle. Okay, let's see the example. In UL tag, see the body tag. Here I have written UL type equal to square. Now first of all see the output. See, this is the output. I have written UL type equal to square. See, you are getting square. Low level. Within the UL, I have used another UL. I have used disk, machine language. See, you are getting disk shape list. The list are started with disk shape. And in high level languages, I have used U type equal to circle, compiler base, interpreter base. So see, for compiler and interpretation page, you are getting the circles. Again here I am making use of nesting of UL list. With an outer UL list, I am using inner UL list. And for each item I have to use li tag. See, in outer I am using li low level language and li high level language. So you are getting low level language and high level language. Then within outer UL you are getting type equal to this machine language and assembly language. See, here you are getting machine language and assembly language. Then within high level I am using type equal to circle, and you are getting compiler based and interpreter based. You are getting compiler interpreter based. Now suppose you want to type chemical equations and mathematical formulas in your web page. You want to display chemical equations and mathematical formulas in your web page. So for example, you want to write H2O. This is chemical formula. You want to write C square equal to A square plus B square. This is mathematical formula. So you can use subscript and superscript tags just like you use in MS Word. The sub tag is used to define subscript and the SUP tag is used to define superscript tags. They have no attributes. For example, see the body tag. In body tag I have written chemical formula of water is, now see I am writing H2O. Now H2O. Now before 2 I am writing sub and after 2 I am closing the sub. Now let's run this code. See, you are getting H2O in the form of chemical formula. Why is it showing 2 at the bottom of the H? Because I have enclosed 2 within the opening subtag and the closing subtag. So this is H2O. Now again I am using Br. See, the next line is the next formula is displayed on a different line. Here I am using Pythagoras theorem is, now C square equal to A square plus B square. Now I have typed C, then before 2 I have opened the SUP tag and after 2 I have closed the SUP tag. Then equal to again A square. Before 2 I have opened the SUP tag and after 2 I am closing the SUP tag. Similarly I have done this after the B also. So I am getting C square equal to A square plus B square. So using sub and SUB and sub SUP tag, you can type the text in subscript or superscript form. Now, the one of the most important aspect of HTML page is to display, to draw a table, just like you insert a table in MS Word. So, inserting a table in MS Word is very easy. You go to the insert menu, you select the option insert, and from there you insert table of specified rows and columns. Here you can insert a table using table tag. Along with table tag, you can use th tag for table heading, table rows for tr tag for table rows, and td tags for table cells. So you can use 3 tags along with table tag, th, tr, and td. Now its attributes are border. It sets the width of the table border in pixels. Then cell padding. It sets the distance between cell walls and cell contents in pixel or percentage. This is very important attribute. Suppose you want to set the distance, you want to increase the distance between the cell wall and cell contents. You can use cell padding. Now you want to set the distance between two cells. You can use cell spacing. So border, using border, you can set the width of the border. It sets the thickness of the border. Okay, not width of the border, it sets the thickness of the border. So you can make it clear here, it sets the thickness of the border. Okay, so here it sets the thickness of the border. It sets the thickness of the border in pixels. Okay, and then cell padding, cell spacing, and then width. Using width, you can set the width of the border also. in pixels or percentage. For example, here I am using table tag. Now see what I have written within the body. I have written table border equal to 2. It means the thickness of the border will be 2 pixel. Then cell spacing will be 5 pixel. Cell padding will be 5 pixel. BG color. You can also set the background color of the table using BG color. And width I am giving 20%. Okay. So let's see the output. See. The width of the table is 20% of this of the width of the page. So 20% means 20% of the width of the page. See, now if I make it with 100%, see what this table look like. It will get stretched. Now refresh. See, it is covering the 100% width of the page. Okay, so I have given it. Now I am giving it 40%. Now again refresh it. This is 40%. Okay. Now see, I have written cell spacing 5. It means see there is 5 pixel of gap between two cells of this table. And then cell padding is the difference between the cell wall and the text. See, it is 5 pixels. And the background color is yellow. Now see, within the table I have used th tag. It means I am giving table heading. So the first heading is food items and second heading is price unit. Now as you can compare the cell data and this heading, the heading is slightly bolder than the cell data. This is due to the th tag because heading word is used here. So it is in the heading form. It is slightly bolder and bigger also. Now within that this is the first row. See, this is first row. This is first row. This entire row is first row. This one. So here I am giving TR. And within this row there are two cells. One is regular pizza and one is 60 rupees. So I am using 2 DD. You can close TD also. I am closing the TD here. These are container tags. So the heading for heading I have given TH tag. And for inserting a row I have given TR. So one row is inserted. This is one row. And within one row I am giving TD. So first table cell is regular pizza and then second TD is second table cell is 60 rupees. Then I am closing the TR tag and I am closing the table, then body and HTML. So in this way you can insert a table in HTML page. Yeah. Now anchor tag. You must have seen while visiting so many web pages on internet, you must have seen the blue text appears and when you point the cursor on that text it becomes a handshake. It means that text is called as hyperlink. When you click on that hyperlink, another page gets opened. So this can be done using anchor tag. It creates a hyperlink which is used to link from one page to another. Its attributes are href. This is the main attribute. It sets the URL of the link to be opened. Means in href you have to give the URL. URL all know this is the address of the web page. Uniform resource locator. It means the address of the web page. Okay. Now then target. The target is there are two values of target. One is underscore self. When you give self, the target page will be open in the same tab only. And when you give underscore blank, the target page will be open in the new tab. Suppose when you want to open the link on a new tab, then you give target attribute as new underscore blank and you want to open that new link on the same tab, you give underscore self. For example, see the anchor tag here. See, I have written, I am using two tags. A href font.html target underscore blank and I am using a href img.html target underscore self. Now you can see the difference. See, how will you use anchor tag? First of all, you will write A, then you will give href, then give the name of the document. If your document is within the same folder, then you only need to type the name of the document, your HTML file. And if it is on some other path, then give C colon, D colon, and if it is on the internet, it is located somewhere on the internet, then you give the URL starting from http www. That's all. Here I have given target equal to underscore blank. It means this tag will be opened. This new link will be opened on a new tab. Font.html. Then I have used br. I am using another anchor tag. Here I am using img.html, and here I have given target equal to underscore self. Now when I click on this link, it will open in the same tab. Now open the browser. See, there are two links. One is font.html, one is now see I am here one tab is open, anchor tag. Now I am clicking on font.html. See, another tab is open and it is displaying the contents of that HTML file. See, as you can see, now there are two tabs in your web browser. So this new tab is opened because of target equal to underscore blank. So when you click on font.html, that document is open on a new window. Now these links are displayed in tab anchor tag. Now if I click on img tag, the new document will be opened in within this new tab, this tab only, current tab only. Now see, no other tab is open. You can see the title bar, no other tab is being opened, and that document is opened within the same tab. You can go to back again, click on mg, that document. This is due to target equal to underscore self. So if you give target underscore blank, the document will be opened, the link document will be opened on a new tab, and if you give target underscore equal to underscore self, the link document will be opened within the same tag. Now there is a marquee tag. Marquee tag is used to display some animated text. The text that you can move from left to right, top to bottom, right to left. See, it is used to display a scrolling piece of text or image. It means you can make your text as marquee or you can make your image as marquee. Now you can move it horizontally across or vertically down the web page. Now there are so many attributes of this marquee tag. Okay, so let's see. First of all is behavior. Now I am opening the code window also, and here I am using the marquee tag. Now see, I have in this code I have used three marquees: marquee 1, marquee 2, marquee 3, and I have given the attribute behavior equal to slide. Now behavior means which type of scrolling you want. It will either scroll, it will come scrolling, it will come sliding, or it will move like a pendulum, alternate from left to right and right to left. Okay. Now see, I am running this code and you can see the effect. Now see the first marquee. It is coming by default, it comes from right to left. It moves towards left side. Now see the marquee 1. Now slide means it will come scrolling from the right and it will reach to the left margin and then it will stop. It will not slide. Okay. Notice only first marquee. Don't notice the second and third marquee. Now inside of slide I am writing scroll. Scroll. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. Scroll. Now save it and okay. Now see, notice the first marquee. It is coming from right and it is going to the left. Again it disappears and it again comes from the right. This is known as a scroll. In slide it will come sliding from the right and stop to the left. Okay. Now next property, next attribute, BG color. It sets the background of the color. See, in the third marquee I have given BG color yellow. See, in the third marquee I have given background color yellow. So background color is being displayed as yellow. Now again, direction. Now see, it defines the direction of the scrolling the text. It can be up, down, left, right. So by default is right. Now see the second marquee. In this I am given the direction right. Now see the second marquee. It is moving in the right direction. Okay, notice the movement of the second marquee. So by default the behavior is scroll and the direction is to the left. Now notice the second marquee, that by default the direction means the direction is right, and it is moving to the right. Okay. Now notice the third marquee. It is moving in the direction up. See, I have given here direction equal to up, and also I have specified the height 50 and BG color yellow. So the height of the marquee is 50 pixel and it is moving from bottom to up. You can notice the marquee 3. So see, next attribute can be direction up. Okay. Now height you can give in pixel, then loop. If you do not give any value to loop, it means you can specify number. Suppose I give loop equal to 3, so it will scroll 3 times and then it will stop. And if you do nothing, the default value is infinite. It means the marquee will move endlessly. It means it will keep on moving until you close the browser window. So these are the different attributes that you can use with marquee tag. One is behavior, then BG color, then direction, then height, then loop. Now one important thing. Suppose you want to send email. Now you want to allow to the user to send email. Okay. So you can send email using HTML. You have to use a tag, and within a tag you have to use mail to colon element. How you can use it? See the example. Write body tag. Now within the body tag, suppose I am writing email your resume to us at. Now I am using a href, and within href I am writing mail to colon, and then I am writing the typing the valid email, and then you want to display this email as hyperlink. So after closing the hyperlink, I have written the email id mohit310 at mscclucknow.com, and then I have closed the anchor tag. Now when you run this, you will see email at. Now I am running the browser. Now see, it is coming email your resume. Now I am correcting it. Email your resume to us at mohit310 at mscclucknow.com. Now in Windows 10 there are email clients. There is one email app is installed automatically. So when I click on this, it will open my inbox. It will open the mail composition box, and by default, see, it is writing to, and in to field it is written to mohit310 MSC. Now you can type the subject here. You can type the subject here HTML, and this is I am sending you an email. Now you can type it and you can click on send button. This mail will be delivered to that recipient if the email is correct. So what you have done? You have written a href, then you have written mail to. There is no space between mail and to, colon, then you have written mohit310 at mscclucknow.com, and then after closing enter tag, write the email. So the page will be displayed like this. Email will resume at to us at mohit310, and when you click in, this email client program will be opened and you can send the email. Now most of you only study these basic elements. Today I will teach you how to design an HTML form. So as a website developer, you must know how to design and the forms, HTML forms, using HTML form tags. Now what is HTML form? You can create HTML forms to take input of data from user. For example, first name, last name, email, password, hobbies, address, phone number, pin code. Okay. Now, for example, this is a registration form. Now, I want to design this registration form. So we can use HTML form text. So this is an example of HTML form. See, here I am taking input of email, password, address, then hobbies. Here I am using checkboxes. These are checkboxes. Okay, so these are text boxes. This is text area. This is checkboxes. These are called as radio buttons. This is known as drop down list. This is known as list box. This is submit button. This is reset button. So today we will learn how to design such HTML form. For this we have to start with the form tag. This is a container tag, opening form tag and closing form tag. So to create an HTML form you have to use form tag, and within form tag you have to use other tags. Now what is the syntax of form tag? You have to write action, URL of page. In action attribute you have to give the URL of page, and in method you can give get or post. So later on I will tell you what is the difference between get or post. So in the action attribute you have to give the website address of the page you want to open when user submits the page. So it attributes are action. It specifies the URL of page which gets opened when submit button is clicked, and method is a request method. It can be either get or post. So don't worry about the method just now. You can either use get or post, but post is relatively much secure than get. So prefer post. Okay. Now the input tag. So most of the tags that you will use within the form tag, so there are three tags that you can use within the form tag, and one is input tag. It can be used to add the following components. Now these components are also called as fields. See, in this tag I have used email. This is field 1, this is field 2, this is field 3, this is field 4, field 5. So whatever components you are using are called as fields. So it can be used to add the following component fields to a form. Now what all can you can add using input tag? First is text box. You know how text box, where you type your first name, last name. Then password field. You all know when you type your password, it is displayed in the form of asterisk or dot or hash. Then radio button, the round buttons that you must have seen in working with Windows or in working on internet. Only one button can be selected. Then there are check boxes. When click, this tick mark signs appears on the box, and when again you click, this tick mark signs disappears. This is checkbox. Then there is submit button. When you fill the form and you click on submit, so all the data you have entered is saved. And then there is reset. It means whatever you enter, suppose you have entered incorrectly, you can reset your form. So all the fields gets cleared. Okay. So how will you create a text box? Starting, the tag used is input tag. You have to write, suppose you are writing name, in front of name you write input type equal to text. Text means text box, and give it some name. So it is a good practice to always give name to your component. So give it name T1. So input type equal to text means a text box will be created like this only. Now asterisk sign means it is mandatory, means it is compulsory to enter value for the same. Now creating password box. Now creating password box, you have to write password, means password is the label. You can write anything. You can write enter password, your password, first name. Similarly, you can write first name, last name. Now this is only the text that will be displayed before the box. In the actual password box is displayed using this input tag. Input type equal to password and give it name T2. So now password box will be displayed. Okay. In this you can see the text, but actually asterisk or dotted sign will be displayed. Now you want to create a checkbox. You will write input type equal to checkbox. Give it name CB1. So you will get a checkbox. So is it clear? So you want to display a text box, write input type equal to text name T1. You want to display password, input type equal to password name T2, and you want to display type checkbox name CB1. You can display this also. Okay. Now you want to create a radio button. Write input type equal to radio name RB1. Now suppose I want to create 3 radio buttons. Now the most important thing you must know about radio buttons is radio buttons only one radio button can be selected at a time, and to by default in HTML the radio button you draw all can be selected. So for this you have to keep the name of all radio buttons same. Keep this in mind. If you want only one radio button to be selected, you give you create different radio buttons and give them same names. For example, first radio button I have given name RB1. Now in second radio button I have given name RB1, and in third radio button I have again given RB1. Now you will see 3 radio buttons will be displayed, and only one can be selected at a time. Okay. So note this, it is compulsory to give same name to each radio button in order to form button group, so that only one radio button is selected at a time. Now you want to create a submit button. To create a submit button, now what is a submit button? It is a button. Now there is normal button also and there is submit button also. The main advantage of submit button is when you click on a submit button, another web page gets opened and it transfers the data that you have entered on that web page to the other web page. So submit buttons do two things. It open another web page, and whatever data you have filled in the form, it transfer to that web page. So this is very important button, submit button. For creating submit button, you have to write input type equal to submit. Now you can type it in lowercase or in uppercase, no problem. Now give some value. Suppose I want to give value register, or I want to give value login. You can give value equal to login, value equal to register, or value equal to save, and give it some name equal to bt1. Now reset button. Reset button is a button which when clicked, it clears all the components on the form. It clears all the fields. So it is a button which when clicked resets the form. That is, clears all the fields of a form. To create a reset button, you have to use input type equal to reset. Then write value equal to clear. It means on a button clear will be written. Here on a button register will be written. So it is value is the text that will be displayed on a button, and if you not use value, then by default it will display reset. It will display submit. Okay, like this only, register then clear. Now there is one more control, text area. Now suppose you want to allow the user to enter his or her address. Now address can be in multiple lines. Now you want to take feedback from the user. The feedback can be in multiple lines. So for this, text area can be used. It is used to add multi-line text box. So it adds a multi-line text box in a form, then can be used to take input of address or remarks from user. Okay. Example. Now, in text area, to create a text area, you use text area. Keep this in mind, there is no space in between text area. Now, you have to use row. Row determines the height. What is the height of the text area? And columns determines the width of the text area. This is the width. It means rows means what will be the height of the text area, and columns means what will be the width of the text area. Okay, and you can give it name, then close the text area. So in this way you can display the text area on a web form. Now most of you have filled the forms in your life using internet. Now you have seen, then whenever you select a city or you select a country, you select a state, a drop down list comes there. So to create a drop down list, select tag can be used. It is used to add a drop down list or a list box on a form. Now how can you create a drop down list? This drop down list is also known as combo box. Now you type the name of the tag select. To keep this in mind, to create a drop down list, the tag name is select. Give it some name, and within select you have to use option tag. For each item you have to use option tag. Similarly in OL tag and UL tag you use li tag for each option. So in your to creating a drop down list you have to use option tag along with select tag. So I have used the first option high school, then intermediate, then graduation, then post graduation, and then I have closed the this. Now see, you will get the drop down list. When you click on this list, you will get a drop down list which contains all the options high school, intermediate, graduation, and post graduation. See, so in this way you can create drop down list. Now there is another list box. For creating list box, you have to use select tag only, but you have to use one attribute multiple equal to true. This will create a list box. List box do not contain a drop down list. See, again here you are using option tag, option high school, option intermediate, option graduation, option post graduation. And when you click, see this is the list box. Here you will get scroll bars, but you will not get drop down lists. So it occupies more space on a form, and drop down list occupies less space on a form. So both are used to display a list of items. So you can use them according to your needs. Now at the last we will learn how to design HTML registration form. Now we will going to design this registration form for the users. See, it contains a text box, email, it contains the email box, it contains a password box, it contains 3 check boxes. User can select multiple check boxes. It contains 2 radio buttons, only one can be selected. It contains a drop down list, it contains a list box, it contains a text area, it contains a submit button and reset button. So how will you create it? So the coding that I am showing to you can find this coding on the description given below. From there you can copy and paste this code. You can download. This is the coding part. Now see, in this coding part, this is some complex part. Let's study by one. See, first of all, always use form tag within table tag. Then only you will get the form tag correctly. Now see how. I am running this, opening in browser. See, this is open in browser, registration form. Okay, this is registration form. So let's see. Here I have written H3 heading registration form. See, you are getting H3 heading registration form. Then I have used table border 1, cell spacing 5, cell padding 5 with 45%. See, you are getting the distance between email and his boundary 5 pixel, and between two cells it is 5 pixel. See, the distance between two cells is 5 pixels, and the width of the table is 45% of the web page. Now I have used form tag. See, here I am using form tag. Follow me. Action equal to register.html. It means when I click on this save button, register.html document will get opened, and method equal to post. So let me create one document, register.html. In HTML document, I am creating congrats you have been registered successfully. Okay, I am displaying it and I am making it h3 heading, h2 heading. So within h2 tag I am writing and then I am writing here HTML and I am closing HTML. Now these tags are optional also. See here I am using body tag. So you can use minimum tags also, minimum amount of tags also. So here I am using body tag. Within body tag I have written this. Okay. Now I am saving it with name register.html. Okay. Now this is the station.html form. Here I have written action equal to HTML. It means when I click on submit button, this form, this document will get opened and the method is post. It is secure method. Now I am drawing a table. So I start with the TR table. See, this is the first row. This is the first row. This is the first row. Then in this I have written email. So see, in the first cell it is email, and then in the second cell I have written input type equal to text, name equal to T1. So see, the text box is coming. Now I can type it some text. So email is my Mohit310 at mscclucknow.com. Now in the second and I have closed the TR, means the first row is completed. Okay. Now the second password row, then again I have used TR tag, and in the first cell I have used TD password. So the password is displayed, and then in the second cell I am writing input type equal to password P1. Now see, I am writing the password. Now it is displayed in the form of solid dots. Then I have closed the TR. Again third row, hobbies rows, TR. Then in the first cell I have written hobbies. So say here are hobbies I have been displayed, and then in the second cell three checkboxes are there. So see here I have written input type equal to checkbox, name CB1 music. See first checkbox music. Then in the second I have written checkbox, name CB2 painting. See CB2 painting, and in the third checkbox I have written CB3 dance. Then I have dance. So either you can select all the three options, or you can select only two or only one. Then I have closed the TR tag. Now there is fourth row, gender row. Now again I have started the TR tag. In the first cell I have written gender within TD, and in the second cell two radio buttons. Now see, only one radio button can be selected. So I have written input type equal to radio button name RB, and again I have typed input type equal to radio name RB. Now in the first radio button, in front of first radio button I have written male, in the front of second radio button I have written female. So see, two options are there. Now why only one radio button can be selected? Because I have given the same name to these two radio buttons. Now again I have closed the TD and I have closed the TR. Again I have opened the TR. See, for each row I am opening and closing the TR. Qualification. Here I am using drop down list. See, I have using drop down list. See, I have given the name Q1, and then I have used three options. Now again, for the city part I am using list box. See, for creating list box the tag is select, but you have to give one attribute multiple equal to true. It will become list box. See. Then for address I am giving text area. See, for address I am giving text area. For address I am giving text area. See. For address I am giving text area. So I have given 5 and columns 22. It is 5 and 22. Now I have to give save and clear button. Now see, I have given input type equal to submit and giving value as save. So save is displayed on this. Save is the text that is displayed on the submit button, and then I have given type equal to reset, value equal to clear all, and clear all is the text that is displayed on the reset button. Okay. Now I have said postgraduate. I have selected Lucknow, and now I am giving the address MT1 139 LDA Colony, Lucknow. Okay, now save it. When you save it, you will get the register.html. Let me check it. It will give register.html. So again, I have to refresh the page. Password, music, painting, high school, postgraduate, Lucknow. I am giving MD1 139 LGA Colony, Lucknow, and I am giving on save button. Now let me check what is the problem. It should display message you have been registered. So register.html. So the spelling is wrong. Let me correct it. It is register. Register.html. Okay, it is correct. Again, congrats, you have been registered successfully. Okay. So the coding of this form you can find in the description given below. Now at the last, I will tell you how to embed a video in a web page. Very simple. The HTML5 tag used is video tag. HTML5 has given a new tag called video. In this tag, you have to use one src attribute where you will give the path of your video file. Then you will give the width and height. And there is one attribute controls. This controls will allow you to play the video, pause the video, stop the video, okay, and then close the video tag. Most commonly used video formats are, now HTML5 currently supports only two type of video formats. One is OGG files with Fedora video codec and Vorbis audio codec. Another is MP4, MPEG4 files with H.264 video codec and AAC audio codec. Okay, now let's see the example here. Let me close this window and see the example here. I am displaying this video tag. See, in the body tag I have written video src equal to tutorial2.mpv, width is 300 pixel, height is 200 pixel, and controls will allow to play, pause, stop the video. Now open it in one browser, you will get this video. Now you can play it. Hello and welcome all dear students of class 11th to this new video tutorial 2. So as you can see, there are controls coming to stop the video, to pause the video, to play the video, and you can also mute the video and you can increase or decrease the sound also. Today we will discuss about the Python fundamentals. And means what are the basics of Python programming. The pre-requirements for this video is you have to go through the video tutorial 1 on topic getting started with Python. Okay. Which now similarly, you can embed an audio in a web page. HTML5 tag uses audio and you have to use src attribute and then you have to use controls. So using controls attribute, you will get the play pause button, you can adjust the volume and as well as you can maximize or minimize the video also. You can see it from here. In example, I have written audio.html. See, this is the coding audio.html. Now I am running it. See, you are getting the audio. Now you can forward it. Okay, so in this way you can insert audio video in your web document. Okay, so most commonly used audio formats are, that is OGG, MP3 and WAV files. You can play MP3 audios, WAV audios and OGG audios. Okay, so that's all for today. In the next video lecture, I will discuss a very important thing, HTML form validations. Now see, in this HTML, let me open it again. See what happened in this HTML form, there are no checks applied. See, for example, if I leave this HTML form blank, I enter wrong email format. Now this is not the correct email format. I have given only 2 letters at password. Now the rule is there should be capital letter, small letter, symbol, digit, and it should contain at least 8 characters. I am not following that rule. And then I am in the address, in the name part, suppose here I am not taking the name. In the name part, suppose I am typing digits also. Now first name, last name should not contain digit because your name doesn't contain digits. So how will you apply the checks not to enter such type of data? So this is known as validation, HTML form validations. This we will learn in our next video. So thank you for watching and Have a nice day and take care and goodbye.